All right, so let's get to the actual schedule and kind of what I want to kind of go through some of these games. I'll start with you, Nick. Kind of what I want to do, maybe start with like our favorite matchup or two that we're really looking forward to. And then I have a couple other questions just in regards to week one. And of course, we'll have our predictions, which way too early. I know it's kind of pointless predicting these games or predicting records, but I mean, it's fun. It's like fantasy. You got to do it. So, Nick, first of all, what game pops out here that you're like, I can't wait. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, for me, it's probably one that people aren't going to expect because most people are going to go like CJ Stroud, like that game. I'm going to go the week after at Indianapolis. Flus is going back home. Richardson, I mean, he's going to be hyped up. They got a squad, man. They got receivers there. They got some talent with the Colts. I mean, when you look at like power rankings, the Bears and Colts are like right next to each other. So like, I think that's going to be a good gauge for how good is Chicago after week 3. I think we'll know.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm a big fan of Anthony Richardson, and it sucks that he got hurt last year. Was out early, he was out for the rest of the year, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a fun one. Ficky, what about you? What are you thinking?
Man, to be honest, like, give me week 1, man. This is the first time we're going to see Caleb Williams on the field. And I know it's the Titans, so on paper, it's not as exciting as some of these other teams, but it's week 1, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to take you guys back to what happened last week 1, right? Last year's week 1. I want to walk away from a week 1 game feeling good for once, right? And we haven't had that in such a long time. Because normally we're playing the Packers week 1. It seems like the NFL loves to put that one there first. Luckily, they put them last this time. But I think that week 1, if we can really, obviously, like Nick, you talked about it, like you can't really gauge these teams. You have to gauge these teams kind of like 4-game buckets, right? Yeah. You don't really know the team until like a couple games in. But if Caleb Williams can come out and look competent week 1, man, whoo, I think that'll really get me hyped for the rest of the season.
I think it's a pretty yeah. I feel like the first 5 games, 6 games, like there's some like on paper might be pretty good matchups for the Bears, but we'll get to that in a minute. But as far as my favorite, obviously week 1 is so exciting. Like I can't wait for it, of course. I honestly was feeling, Eberflus Colts, but I'll just go with give me Green Bay week 18, just because I feel like it's going to mean something this time. I know we talk about it the last 2 years, like, playing Green Bay late in the season, especially last year where we had a chance, to potentially make the playoffs if we ran the table playing Green Bay. And then, of course, Justin, if he would have at least had a good performance and maybe even won that game, probably not. But it just felt like it would have been a little bit more of a fun conversation. But the way that kind of ended and it was flat, everyone was like, okay, not time for Caleb Williams. But for me, week 18 this year in 2024, you would hope it's for playoff seeding, maybe even for the division possibly. So I feel like that one, and it's away, right? So it's in Lambeau.
Yep.
I mean, and that one could be epic, man. It really could be fun. Jordan Love, Caleb Williams. I just feel like a lot could be on the line. Also, I guess maybe everything could be set at that point too. So who knows? But I'll go week 18 just because it could have some dramatic, type, theater as far as what it means.
That was my second one, Dave. And a fun fact to why that would be my second one is because does anybody know the last time the Bears won in Lambeau Field?
That was the Eddie Jackson sprained his ankle game, right?
Nope. That was the last time we beat them. That's what I thought too. But that was in Chicago. Yep. That was also week 18. But he got the interception and then got injured. Unfortunately, that's Bears luck. Like just not even getting touched. 2015, Jay Cutler, 24-17. So, if Caleb's really that dude and you want to make a statement, week 18 in Lambeau, win it. Maybe there are some, complications with that game.
Yeah.
Like I could see, if you want to talk about an NFL script, wouldn't that be a perfect script for us and Caleb to kind of be like, this is my team now.
Well, like the analyzing stuff that I do here, and I try to do it quick, like even some during the video, because I've seen it, and I got 2 things. One thing that pisses me off about the schedule, okay, to get started about things I'm not happy about, is we play Green Bay week 11. They come off their bye week. That's when we played them. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Because like we come up for bye week, we play Washington. It's like, come on. And then, but we have a little favor here. Week 17, Thursday night football, Seattle. And then we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday of extra rest to play Green Bay, who has to travel to Minnesota. So they're, it's a short trip, but like you think of like in time of rest, that's a big advantage. Like, Warren Sharp puts out stuff like they have a lot of analytics. And if you have, I think it's 3 or more days extra rest, you have like a 57% chance of winning, no matter who the opponent is. So like that's something okay, schedule makers made that up to us a little bit,
And honestly, if you want the favor, I'd rather have it against Green Bay in Lambeau, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we were gonna say it was even odds, like the likelihood that we'll win at home is probably a little bit better if we were gonna take one. As I just said, we haven't won there in 9 years, so maybe it's actually more in our favor that we kind of get screwed on the first one, but the second one, which could be more important, they give us those extra 3 days. So
I got a little present for you guys. You guys didn't expect this, but if you guys want to check out the screen here, I'm gonna move this up real quick. We're rocking.
Oh,
no
that's fire. That's fire.
Wait a second. That first of all, that's a really quick turnaround because that photo came out yesterday, 2 days ago, Nick?
Yeah, that came out so quick. Did you get that shipped already, or was that already? Were you ahead of the curve? Did you make?
I try to get ahead of. Well, I got a couple of things brewing. Okay, so people. If you remember, my license plate is Fields 1. Okay, and people get new jerseys and stuff, and I put in for Caleb 18 up here in Wisconsin. So it's hopefully it's in the making. But this one, I look right away for some like good gear, and this one just feels so right to not be just Caleb, because you got this is the first time that I think a receiver and a quarterback have been drafted in the first round together, and I can't remember how long. Someone said it's a
very long time.
It just feels right. So I was like, all right, I got to get something. So first time I've worn this, guys, is on your show.
Hey, we love that. No, we have to cop that one now because that is fire. And I love that they did not only with Rome and Caleb, but they did it with DJ Moore and
Cole Kmet.
Yeah, that was fire. I mean, hey, look,
first of all,
go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm excited about that sweater. Like how did you get it? Or I guess you could DM me. Like, I need to order one. I'll pay premium price because that's sick, dude. That is so awesome. And I think even if it doesn't even work out, or if it works out like 50% of what we think it could be, that connection, it's just gonna be a great little historical item, to have.
Think about this, guys. Okay, remember the first play of the first preseason game? This screen to DJ Moore, right? And we were just like, oh, we are here. We got 3 of those guys now. It's not not 2. We got 3. It's like. It feels like we can't mess it up. It's set up so well for Caleb.
Yeah.
I hope. I hope you're right, Nick, because
I trust
we've
Nick
messed up. We've messed up so much before, but but that's more like PTSD. But you're right. Like, I mean, if you look at every position on offense, right, there is literally no excuses for Caleb to not thrive. Like in the complete opposite of what Fields was. Like Ryan Poles had to come in here and say that year doesn't count because you didn't have anything. Now let's see this year. With Caleb, you can get answers very quickly on like what you're not good at and what you are, because the weapons around you are, is the best weapons any rookie quarterback's probably ever had. The only possible excuse is maybe injuries on the offensive line, but even still, there's so many weapons that it almost outweighs some of the questions on the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see. I'm not even worried. I was going to say that's Nick. I feel like there is a little bit more depth, especially with Karan and his injury. I think he's going to be fine, at least perhaps by week 1. But for me, I feel really good actually about the offensive line, and maybe that's the weapons coming over too, and everything. The vibes are really kind of high right now for the offensive side, and honestly, the defense too. It's a weird time to be a Bears fan, honestly, because I feel good about both sides of the football, which is not always the case, as we know. So
never the case. Never the case. But Nick, another thing with the line too, last thing on the line is that also the line might look better on film because they won't have to block as long as well. Like I think the reads are going to be quicker, right? And also so Caleb's going to be able to make quicker decisions, as we know. And then also wide receivers are probably going to be open quicker because of the number of good wide receivers and the wide receiver talent. So hopefully that can help alleviate some of the pressure on the line, so where they don't have to block as long and you don't start to see a lot of those sacks and blown plays and things like that. So I think it benefits both.
It's like I dare Minnesota to do the stuff they tried last year. Like I dare you.
Good luck.
You could
send
single
10.
up
Good
Keenan?
luck.
Like
Yeah.
And it's another thing
Do
too
it.
is like I know we love the Bears. You know, people are watching this like we all like they love the Bears too. But it doesn't feel like it's Bears fandom because when I check power rankings, when I check the national guys,
You're
it's
right,
like
Nick.
Bears are like 13th to 15th. Like everyone's got them having this big jump. And this is with Caleb like being probably a rookie quarterback or maybe a little better. Like if he comes in, he's top 10, like which he literally could be. I mean, it's like lights out, man. We got it.
Yeah. Oh, it's done. it's done if that's the case. That if he comes in and hits like kind of like his rookie ceiling, that's easily.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's one of the more exciting parts about Caleb right now is we don't know what to expect. Like he could have CJ Stroud type start or season. He could have some struggles, but I feel like all in all, I don't think it's going to be like a really down year for him. I feel like it's going to be because they built such a great support system around him. We've already talked about the weapons and everything that comes with this. And then you have the defense, the coaching. It just feels like the floor for him. And then of course the team is just, you feel good about it when you think about it.